Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Fabulites. I have got questions for you. What opens with Miss Mary Jane and her girl discussing the flowers from Justin that Miss Aaliyah sent Mary Jane? And what closes with Mary Jane throwing out those fake flowers from Justin because she got something better? If you guessed Being Mary Jane, Season 4, Episode 17, Feeling Lost, you're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I am Angela, and the channel is Be Fabulous You. If you are a subscriber or you come and visit me all the time, welcome back and thank you. And if you're not a subscriber and this is your first time, come on in, enjoy yourself, sit a spell, and go on and subscribe while you're here, and welcome back, and all of that other good stuff. All right, like the video, because I like you. Like the video, because I like you, like me. Okay, so let us go. So we got Miss Aaliyah and Mary Jane coming back to Mary Jane's place after a Bushwick party, and they're discussing Justin among other things. We see the flowers that Allegra sent that were supposed to be from Justin to Mary Jane. And Aaliyah's like, okay, they still looking good. Hashtag Justin kissed a lot of frogs is still trending, we find out. And there is no word to Mary J from Justin since he got to Paris. Mary Jane is texting Justin something. I missed that whole thing, but it's something about Simone. And then Justin is like, she has no digital footprint. They will never find her. Text number 2. And then text number 3 is a link to Miss Simone's obituary. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. The child has made her transition. Okay. Wow, she had cancer. So Justin kind of got on my nerves, and he seemed kind of shady to me. So I have a whole different take on him now. I'm willing to give him a new chance and a new look. Okay, so then we see Kara. She's stressing about Orlando and who he is with. She talking to this guy, Marco. Marco is like, he has not been cheating. I would know. And Kara, don't come back here until you find him. Get out of here. And she pushing him out the door. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with Kara? And then we find out that Orlando is hiding in the bathroom. He a grown-ass man, and he hiding in the bathroom because he don't want to tell his friend that he got to study for his job. He play a game professionally, but he trying to step up and play another playing field of broadcasting, sports broadcasting or broadcasting. And he got to practice because he got some work coming up. And he don't want to tell his friends. So Kara was covering for him. Let's see. His boys don't want to know nothing about, whatever. But he too old for all of that. You grown. Tell them people. What they gonna do? This is what I'm doing, and what? Shoot, don't nobody care about them like that. Oh my gosh, UPS is about to run me over. Okay, so then we see I don't know, I got Kara. That's right, you tell Marco you wanted. Kara's like, that's right, you tell Marco you wanted this poppy. It's on you. I'll get Gumbo's people to watch the Good Day USA segment that you're gonna do since you think you're ready. This is what you said you wanted. Let's do this. Okay, so then we're at Good Day USA, and Mary Jane is telling Kara that the dearly departed Simone was not only a genius, she was a tech company founder, but also a saint. She was on the board of several charities. Yay, Simone, rest in peace. Okay, so then we see Mary Jane on air with her co-host. They're doing a mariachi behind a band segment. They're teasing the next segment on a child rearing book. And then in between the next segment teasing and the mariachi, they're talking about, oh yeah, I wish that Justin could be here to watch this with me, but he's in Paris doing very important work or whatever. And I miss him deeply. That's Mary Jane talking. And then we see Garrett, the big boss, and he's like, the mariachi story went too long, so we're going to have to cut the voter suppression story. But we still have time for the child rearing segment. So that's still a go. Keep it up with the Justin banter. We love it. And Mary Jane is like, about that, isn't it old? If I keep talking about my relationship anyway, I'm not going to have a relationship to talk about. And Garrett is like, the numbers. He don't care nothing about her relationship. He just care about the numbers. They the best they've been since the other black woman left or whatever. So Mary Jane sees Kara talking to the author of the child rearing book, who's her next segment. And that is a cute little jumpsuit she has on. Isn't it cute? That black and white striped number. And then Mary Jane is like, I devoured your book. And the author is like, you don't have to pretend to be interested. And Mary Jane is like, no, when I do an interview, I do the research. And the author is like, you tweet too much. That's not in my book. And Mary Jane is like, for work. Some people tweet for work. And I appreciate you promoting, selflessness over narcissism. And the author is like, oh, you did read it. And then a production assistant comes in, type or whatever. And he's like, Miss Author Lady, I can take you to the green room. And then the author walks away. And then Mary Jane approaches Kara and Ty, and she was real shady and mean to me. And Kara is like, we heard that she is dating Lee. That's Mary Jane's old boyfriend that she basically dumped to get with Justin. So then we're at the Patterson household. We're in the kitchen, and Patrick, good morning, Dad. And the dad, good morning, son. Patrick, Mom on strike or something? Dad, she's not here. Your mother and I decided to take some time apart. What's going on? Ask your mother. Okay. So then we see Mary Jane in the green room, and Mary Jane is like, the author, another correspondent came up to Mary Jane, is like, I have to do this author story now about child rearing. And so Mary Jane is going to the author, Jesse, and she's like, Jesse, I know why you requested Emma for the interview. Lee probably gave you some dirt on me, but there are two sides to every story, girl. And Jesse is like, I didn't ask for Emma. Garrett said that he wanted to pair me with someone who has kids. And since you're childless, you weren't the one. And Lee hasn't really said much about you at all. I think he worked it all out in his comedy routine. And Mary Jane is like, yeah, everybody in New York has heard that story. And Jesse is like, yeah, and it's about to get bigger because the audience is getting bigger than New York City. He just got his pilot picked up by a major studio. And Mary Jane is like, the studio. Okay, so then stronger than lovers love is lovers hate. That's part of the quote. That's the headliner for the episode. Then Kara walks in on Mary Jane and Aaliyah, and Kara is like, what did I miss? And Leah is like, we are in full on crisis mode. And Mary Jane is like, what do I do? How do I get in front of the story? And Leah is like, control the narrative. Okay, Ryan Seacrest has been asking for an interview with you. So you get on there, you congratulate Lee on his ability to find the humor and in a mundane breakup and blah, blah, blah. And Mary Jane is like, okay, yeah, an interview. Oh, my core audience, the Breakfast Club, with my, then the mainstream can pick it up. And Kara is like, you talking about the Breakfast Club? They do shock jock radio, and they are going to try to bait you. They're gonna bait you, girl. And then Mary Jane is like, I can handle Charlemagne the God. She don't say that. I am a journalist. I know how to play the game. And then Leah is like, okay, I'll set it up, but we should definitely prep. And Mary Jane is like, well, I am the queen of prep. And then production assistant comes in and is like, Kara, Orlando is here. And then Kara is like, hugs, gotta go. She gotta go deal with her man. Then Orlando is surprised, and he is surprised that he and his teammates are getting support. he thought that everybody would think that they're just a Kaepernick knockoff. The Latino guys late to the game, a knockoff of, protesting injustice in the country. Everybody can join the protest. Find something that needs to be changed and improved and work on that. Find something you're passionate about. Okay, so then Kara is like, well, Gumbo's people are here and we are winning, Poppy. We are winning. And then we see Danny in Garrett's office and she's like, put me back on the air. I can learn from my mistakes. And Garrett is like, my decision stands. And then Danny grabs her phone and starts typing. She's mad. Then we see Patrick, and he's playing dominoes with, the young guy. I think it's the guy who was talking about the gay people before. I don't know, but a young black guy. And then he's texting. He's like, Ma, can you please text me back? And then the young man is like, you good. And Patrick is like, every addict needs a vice, and dominoes is mine. That's why I'm good. And the younger man is like, how do you do it? How did you deal with addiction? And Patrick is like, I lost some people along the way, that's for sure, but family stuck with me. And the younger man is like, I wish my family would stick with me. And Patrick is like, well, family isn't always blood, young blood. I got you. Okay, so then we see Kara, and she's like pre-show coaching Orlando, and they chat a little bit about Danny's trolls getting on Garrett, and I guess we see Garrett walking by with a bodyguard or something. I kind of missed all of that. Then we see Kara and MJ on the phone. And Mary Jane is like, he should try being a black woman. I think they're talking about Garrett and his trolls. Shoot, Leslie Jones' trolls make his look like nothing. And then Kara's walking into her apartment, and Mary Jane is like, I got a hold of Lee's script, and I look bad. And Orlando, as Kara's walking into the apartment, is like, I need to talk to you. And Mary Jane is like, you got to hang up. And Kara's like, no. What is it, baby? Is Marco coming for dinner again? And then Orlando is like, no, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And then there's a knock at the door, and Kara looks through her peephole, and she opens the door, and a woman rushes like, hi, who are you? Kara is like, and the woman rushes past Kara to Orlando, and Orlando. And then Orlando is like, this is my mom, my mommy. I don't know. He's, whatever. It's his mama. It's his mother. It's his mother. And then speaking of mothers, we see Patrick at dinner with his mom. And he's like, Mom, dessert is almost here. Are you going to tell me what's going on? And the mom is like, well, what did your father tell you? And Patrick is like, to talk to you. And the mom is like, well, before blah, 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 Frank, blah, 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 the 70s, when Frank re-enlisted, I was in a bind and your father stepped up. And Patrick is like, bind? Were you pregnant? And then Mom is like, Paul will always be your father, but Frank is your blood. And then we see Kara, and she's like, to Delphine, Orlando's mother, Delphine, so nice to meet you. And Delphine is like, yes, I've been in Miami helping my sister with her newborn. And Kara's like, you have a sister who has a newborn baby? Like, you're young, basically. And Delphine is like, Marco tells me that you are behind all of this hosting political non-baseball BS. Something else to celebrate at the neighborhood block party I always throw whenever Orlando gets back in town. You'll be surprised to see where he came from. And then they all take a shot, like, boom. And then the mama Delphine kisses Orlando dead in the mouth, like lovers. I was like, what in the world? And Kara was like, okay, so then we're at the neighborhood party, and Kara and Mama and Delphine, and, it's some tension there. And she's Mama Delphine is like, my son won't be retiring from baseball anytime soon. I am here to keep him on track, as I have always done. Then we see Orlando and Kara at her place, and she's like, it's basically like it's his dream not baseball, but the broadcasting, but he's kind of afraid to take a risk. Baseball is his comfort zone. The children are admiring him. They won't admire me in a suit. Kara's like, it's easier for them kids to get in a suit than for them to get in cleats. So they need to look, whatever. And then she's like, look, encouraging him, you got major networks knocking at your door. You gonna choke? Do you want this? And then Orlando is like, well, what about you and your dreams? And Kara is like, you're right. I've been gushy. I've been kind of, dang, what is this word? She's been kind of hesitant since she's been back to Good Day USA. But if you do the segment, then I'm going to step up my game. And Garrett, and he's like, okay, game on. And she like, and invite your mama, Delphine, so she can see you do your thing. Okay, so then we're at Good Day USA, and Delphine is arriving, and she is in full effect. Cara, and you must be Mary Jane. Paul, big hug. It is really early. I have to get some caffeine. I have to get caffeinated coffee. And she goes off. And Mary Jane is like, she is basically you. And then Kara is like, I have nothing in common with that woman. As Delphine and Kara walk off down the hall, because Kara's like, I'm going to show you something. Mary Jane is like, they even walk alike. So then we got Allegra and Mary Jane prepping for Charlemagne the God interview. Blah, 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 blah. Black women are never enough, but not too much. And everybody is always dogging us out, but then we can't be too, blah, 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 blah. She just going off, Mary Jane. And Kara is like, as your friend, you gonna look crazy. And Mary Jane is like, you are here as my publicist, young lady, not my friend. And Aaliyah is like, look, if you want a yes woman, then you got the wrong person. So we'll talk about this later. So then we see Garrett, and he wants to bring Danny in on Orlando's interview. And Kara is like, you are giving into her trolls, and that is empowering them. And Orlando is like, I think it would be good to have a conservative viewpoint. And Kara is like, plus Orlando is not prepared for this type of interview. She will tear him up. And Garrett is like, Danny knows how to temper it. Orlando says to Garrett, can you give us a moment, please? And then Garrett leaves, and then Kara is like, are you looking for a way to sabotage this interview to give your mother what she wants? And Bryant Gumbel's producers are in there right now, and your whole future is riding on this. And Orlando is like, I'll survive. And then we got Orlando on air. He's with Danny and Mary Jane's co-host, the other guy. Can't remember his name, the white guy, And Orlando is great. He's articulate. He's relaxed. He's clear-headed. He's taking the producer's coaching. That's Kara. And he's complimenting his mom. Complimenting Ronald Reagan. It's just like an excellent interview. It couldn't have gone better. And mom is excited watching, and she sees that Orlando is a good competitor and likes to do this whole broadcasting thing. And the mom is even like, praising his coach, Kara. You need a good coach in anything, and clearly you have a good coach. And then we see Kara in Mary Jane's office, and we find out that Kara is like, Leah just told me about your prep session, girl. And Mary Jane is like, she needs to be scheduling the interview and not running to you. She called me crazy. And Kara is like, you are crazy. And all of your life, it's a lot going on in your life, and it's getting in your head, and you are spiraling, mama. And then Mary Jane is like, you can call me crazy, and I can call me crazy, but not her. This is morning TV. It's fluffy. All of this stuff is stressing me out. And Kara is like, well, let's get a primetime special, 1 hour in depth. Leave it to me. And you apologize to Aaliyah, because that's your girl, and she's smart. She trying to help your crazy ass. Okay. So then we see Papa Patterson. He drinking coffee. And Patrick is all weird acting. And why didn't you tell me? And Papa Patterson is like, I raised you as my own son. That's all that matters. And I'm hurting too. She chose that degenerate addict over me. Alcohol, drugs, gambling. Patrick is like, what? Addict? All these years I struggled with this and I was almost disowned by you, and you didn't think to tell me that my real pappy was an addict and that it might be hereditary. And his father, you know, Papa Patterson, doesn't really understand. He's like, I loved you as my son. He don't really get the point. And then we see Mary Jane apologizing to Aaliyah. And, you know, she's like, be my friend and be my publicist. And I want to mentor you and not be a mean person. And, you know, get me out of the Breakfast Club interview. Then we see Danny to Kara. Danny is all gloaty and happy. And she's like, I'm sorry I was so hard on your boyfriend. And, you know, and Kara's like, what are you talking about? He did good. And Danny's like, that's not what my peeps are saying. And then Kara grabs her phone and Kara confronts Garrett. And she's like, you know, you created a monster. And Garrett is like, what you talking about? Orlando did great and I don't need a bodyguard anymore. And Kara is like, Danny's fans see this as a win for them because, you know, everybody see things the way that they want to see it. And I warned you, Garrett, you gave into a terrorist and you should let me handle it. And if I pull this off and handle this and get that Danny under control, then I want a nighttime, primetime special with Mary Jane. And Garrett is like, tame Danny and you got it. And then we see Patrick. He's at a recovery meeting. He like, I'm an addict. I'm struggling. I always felt like an outcast in my own family. And I thought I was before. And now I really am an outcast. I'm not the daddy. You know, he's struggling. He's trying to stay sober, but he's having a hard time. He only been sober for like a year or something. So he ain't just brand new, but he kind of young in it. And then we see Mary Jane at home. It's nighttime. The doorbell rings. Her door person is like, you weren't here when these came, but they are flowers from Justin. Really? Like really flowers from Justin. He say something like, you know, I heard I've been sending you flowers, so I wanted to make you an honest woman. Because I guess Aaliyah was trying to set up the story to make it look like they was in love. And Mary Jane throws out the fake flowers that Aaliyah had sent, pretending they were from Justin, and she's so happy. She's so happy. So that's it, being Mary Jane. I thought it was a good episode. There are some concerns that I had about the characters, but I think there were some moments that resolved some things here that I really appreciated. That's what I got. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share this video with everybody that you love and everybody that you think is fabulous. Like, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, hit the notifications button and subscribe somewhere around here, or subscribe and hit the notifications button. Today is the best day ever. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You, darling. Bye-bye.